Hi everyone, welcome back to the lab. If you're a loan officer trying to figure out whether you should work in retail lending or switch to being a broker, maybe even open a brokerage, this video is for you. This decision impacts your income, flexibility in your job, long-term career growth in the mortgage industry. Should you go independent as a broker or work for a direct lender is, I know, something that is always in a lot of loan officers' minds. So let's talk about what's the real difference and which one is a better fit for you. So today I have a special guest joining me, Heather Yuso. Heather worked for a retail lender for the past 4 years, and before making the switch to becoming a mortgage broker just about 6 months ago. So she's here to share her experience, allow me to ask just some tough questions that I know a lot of people want to know, and I've asked her to be as honest as possible so that it can give you some of the answers that are hard to find and help you get a real perspective on this decision. So let's dive in. First, let's define the key differences between these two roles in the industry. So a mortgage broker acts as an independent middleman. You have a company and you have your borrowers, and then you have lenders that a mortgage broker places loans at. They shop around to find the best loan options and gives clients access to multiple products and interest rates. Where on the other hand, a direct lender, retail lender, like a bank, a credit union, retail mortgage company, they fund loans directly. And loan officers at lenders usually offer mainly what their in-house loan products are, meaning clients don't always have as many options, even though there can be a ton at lenders. But brokers typically, in my opinion, have more options. Now, this is where Heather might give us some different opinions here. So Heather, you've been on both sides.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the differences working as a loan officer about the options?
Transitioning into a broker wasn't easy. It never is easy because you have loans at your previous employer. Now you're switching. So the transition is always going to be a little tough, but honestly, I look at it this way. Retail lender is one way of doing things, one set of interest rates, one set of products. As a broker, I work with 20 lenders. I have 20 different sets of products and 20 different sets of interest rates. So now I have the ability to shop around, get my clients the best interest rate, the best product to fit their needs. Because yes, retail lenders do have products, but you can only use the products that retail that you work for.
So
offers.
Can I expand on this one? Because I've heard retail lenders before say, well, I have non-QM. I have a DSCR.
So we're going to get into those because that is one of the reasons why I became a broker again, and diving into those new spaces. But I don't know. The retail lender that I worked for, we never talked about those types of loans. You pretty much stick with your conventional VA, FHA. You're not diving into the special DSCRs unless you're a broker. And there is so much opportunity for those types of loans right now with technology changing. And, so having those niches and being able to offer more products. I mean, I've helped more clients being a broker than I was able to help go regular because I have these options. Brokers shop around. We find the best product for you, the best interest, the lowest interest rate. Not that retail lenders are bad. My retail lender was great. It's just that's how I look at it. It was one way of doing things. You were stopped as a broker. We can work on trying to find the lowest interest rate and work on, how much you're charging. Where as a retail lender, the rate is the rate. If you go to your boss and say, hey, can I eat one on this one? The answer is probably always going to be no. You don't have much control over that.
So if you have 10 buyers coming at you and your kind of total estimate though, you can close how many at retail and how many in a broker environment?
Yeah. Oh, all of those buyers are going to have a different situation. Yes.
Do you think you can close more of them in a broker environment or a retail environment?
A broker environment all day long. Because, so for example, one of those clients in that 10, let's say her debt to income is through the roof, but she has a ton of money. Well, then you find the program that allows her to purchase the house because she has a 660 credit score and money in the bank. No income, no employment, right? So a broker is going to give you more options to help more clients, where retail lender, you would have had to say no to that client.
You'd have to, it's almost like, in my opinion, from what I hear and my very limited experience, you have to get more clients in retail to close as many. So let's talk about some of the advantages of working at a retail or direct lender, okay? Where you lend the money, because where you worked, you guys lent the money.
Sure.
So working at a direct lender, it does have perks as well, especially for any loan officers who prefer more structure, and you don't want to go finding all these things, right? You just want one way of doing it. There can be brand recognition, support on the back end, because established lenders, they have credibility if they've grown, and they're usually a larger company, which can make it easier when you have clients. They have a streamlined process. Since everything happens in-house, the lending process, I've heard, can be faster and more predictable. Company benefits and salaries or different ways to structure compensation. So some lenders can offer salaries or benefits and retirement plans that maybe you can't find at brokerages, which we'll talk about. And their built-in training and support. So, retail lenders often have trainers, HR teams, compliance teams, marketing teams, right? So, Heather, what were some of the biggest benefits that you experienced at a direct lender, retail lender, that brokers don't always have?
The only answer I can really come up with is they have the in-house closers, and so it can make the closing process very nice. Me being a new broker, I haven't established many relationships with the lenders yet.
If you went and worked at the brokerage that's 3 miles down the road, would you have the same experience, do you think?
If you've been in the business long enough, you know that you have to do your homework, right? Like when I decided 6 months ago that I was going to be a broker again, I didn't just pick any broker. You do your research. You look to see what broker offers what. And, the fact that you guys had most of your education, all your pieces electronically online. I mean, that transition was smooth, right? Putting the loans in the broker was smooth. If you like one way of doing things, you can use the same lender all the time. You don't have to use 10 different lenders. You can put everything at one lender, but you have the options in case they arise, if that makes sense.
No, I like that. No, I spoke to somebody, a loan officer who went to a brokerage, and they went to someone they knew. And this brokerage, for example, only has 3 wholesale lenders they work with, which at CoLab you have, 25?
Well, and now, there's offices all over the United States, and we're building, so...
it's different. You got to pick, brokers there is not a single broker that's the same, right? So
Correct.
That's a big thing that we'll go into. There are a lot of loan officers right now that are going into the broker channel, right? And a big thing that a lot of people have talked about is that there's higher earning potential in the broker side. That brokers can have higher commission splits. There's fewer restrictions on deal structuring, which you covered a little bit. There's more loan products, so you can close more deals. Brokers work with multiple lenders if you're at the right brokerage. Flexibility in growing your business, so you can grow your own brand, structure your own team, right? That's something I think you experienced when you were coming over. So, what was one of those factors maybe that happened to you when you were looking at becoming a broker?
Being a broker allows me the freedom and the flexibility to open my own brokerage soon and make a ton more money.
And I remember you were trying to bring a team member on at the retail company, and could you just bring somebody on?
No. Well, I mean, no. You had to get with your boss and make sure, and then who's paying for that salary, this and that. Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much negotiate however you want to negotiate with the owner of a brokerage.
Yep.
It's retail lender is corporate, right? It's just big. There's a lot of people. Brokers are smaller. They're,
Yep. And one of the things I always say that I liked about the broker channel was, even if I make the wrong choice, I at least have the ability to make the wrong choice and learn my own lessons, right? I find I would rather make the wrong choice in a decision in my business than not be given the choice. As a mortgage broker, there's definitely been more right? There's more leverage, right? Like you said, at your retail lender, everyone made the same amount, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a broker environment, it can be different.
You can negotiate with your broker how much you want to make. If there's a bonus structure, I mean, every brokerage is different and it's going to have their own thing. One of the reasons I came over here is I was offered a little bit more than I was making at the retail lender on every file. So that's a no-brainer.
And now here's another thing I think is really important for loan officers to hear. There was also an option, I remember, when you came onto the brokerage that you went into, to go into a model that's become more common for brokers, which is where a per file is charged, right? And you have all your expenses, which was something you thought about, but it's not always the right move for everyone right off the bat. But I think a lot of loan officers, they look at how can I make the most money right off the bat, but sometimes that isn't the best move because you'd rather have more training, not have to worry about paying for your own this or that, right?
Correct.
And that's a hard thing, I think, because we all want to make the most we can.
Right. Your broker can offer a ton of things or nothing. Retail lender's going to offer you
A ton of things.
great support, right? Find the broker that's going to offer you the same support. I mean,
At first, and then you can
Yeah,
switch.
and then you can switch. But finding it, you want the companies and the people that have the experience, the good mentors, the good group of loan officers that collab together, and we give ideas. You know, we're friends. We're not here to compete. We're here to collaborate. So the environment here is just one that I wasn't getting, and I'm really happy with my change because everyone's going to have their own reason, right?
Yep.
But if you want to make more money in the loan officer space, eventually you have to open your own brokerage because you know that's how you're going to make more money. At a retail lender, you always just paid your comp.
So Heather, what would some advice be that you'd give loan officers when they're looking at going into a broker model? And I'm sure a lot of people are looking at the comp plans.
Well, that's the first thing we look at, right? When we're looking to change, because change is never easy. Honestly, when I came over, the goal was to eventually franchise and open my own brokerage. I jumped a little too quickly, and I was able to negotiate with the broker I joined to come over as a loan officer, you know, learn how to be a broker, work a couple months, and then slowly work on opening my own brokerage so that I can make more money. And then when you do that, when you choose the brokerage, you need to look for support. And, you know, because some lenders can charge a per file fee and then not help you at all. You know, does your broker have in-house processing? Do you have your own processor that sits next to you, or are you using the lender's processor? Because if you're not friends with the lenders, they're not going to rush for you. So this business is all about relationships. And this is just another relationship. You make great relationships with lenders. You have a AE for everyone. You know, you guys know that. It truly is about, I feel like comp is important, but support is
Equally as important.
If not more, in my opinion. In my opinion.
You had a situation on Friday with a loan, and what happened with the support you had?
Oh, we got it done.
How?
But had I not had that support or was working with the title company we were, it would have not closed. But no, the owner of the broker jumped in. He called the owner of the lending company, and literally they jumped on it. It got done. It was a disaster, but it got done. When I mean support, I'm talking about, you know, like trainings and how do we do this and help me with that. I mean, being a broker, you might not have the retail lender marketing, so you got to market yourself a little bit and put some time into that. But the avenues that the brokerage I joined has offered is easy.
Right. That's typically what we hear if I see loan officers who go back into retail. It's because they've picked the wrong brokerage that didn't fit what they needed, and so they go back into retail.
They got more support from the retail lender, so they go back to retail. You have to find a brokerage that has the support because not all brokers are created the same. I will say, though, the group of brokers, like online, I mean, brokers are huge, and the support that you get, even at the brokerage I joined. Just the camaraderie, talking to the other LOs and being able to be friends and having a team instead of competitive, selfish, you know,
Yeah, we
think
don't
that's-
like that.
Yeah, we don't like that. We want to share. We want to build. There's more than enough to go around. So how do we help you? You truly help people. You're not competitive. You're not there to compete. Like, you are a very good mentor. And you're going to get that at the brokerage I joined.
And just for anyone who watches this channel, I don't own a brokerage anymore, but I help people open brokerages. I help connect loan officers with the brokerages in our network, where all the loan officers, no matter which one of the brokers they go to in our network, they all are part of a group that works together. Because that's why we're collab. We collaborate.
Yep.
Last question I have is, were there any myths that you had heard about becoming a broker that really didn't end up being true? Because that's something that happens with a lot of loan officers. They hear they lose control when they become a broker. And I know you had some prior experience, but had you heard anything?
No, and I think it's the opposite. I think I have more control as a broker and less control at the retail lender.
Correct.
So for a quick example, interest rate, okay? When you went into your retail lender site, one set of rates, that's it. You're always making the same comp, and that's okay. But if you want to be competitive and maybe lower your comp a little bit and get this rate to win the deal, I can do that as a broker. I could not do that at a retail lender. So I feel like I have more flexibility as a broker than I did as a retail lender.
So what I would say, just in summary, is go broker if you want more control over your income, your loan products, your career. If you're entrepreneurial and you want at some point to manage or own a brokerage, make sure it's at the right brokerage who's going to support you in doing that. Go direct lender or retail lender if you prefer more stability. You don't want the complex. You want it one way so you can really master that one way. Maybe you want more company support for training, processing, leads. Everything is done the same exact way. Based on what you know now, who do you think, am I correct on who should consider those two options, or did I leave anything out?
No, I think you said it very well. And I'm not going back to a retail lender. So, and it's scary to make a change. So you just do your homework. Reach out to one of us. We're more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Right?
And that's honest.
Right.
That's honest. My honest, true opinion, I promise.
So, and that's why I asked her in here, because she is very honest. So if this video, hopefully this video helped you, hit like, drop a comment, let us know. Are you considering, do you have other questions we didn't answer today in this video? I tried to ask them. I can keep asking with people who have switched over this last year. And if you want to learn how to become a mortgage broker, start your own business at some point, subscribe to the channel, check out the resources and other videos. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video.